here?
Just
It's
you
okay.
just go ahead, and I can
Okay.
access anything as once it starts.
Everyone, how are you doing? It's good to see you. Every Shabbat is a little different, and we're so grateful for the group that's gathered with us tonight. And of course, we have, what do we call it, Tizmeret, or you
No,
know
we're
the
just,
Shabbat?
we're just the band tonight. We're
The
filling
band.
in for Paul.
Ooh, the band.
Jamming. We're jamming tonight.
I feel like there was a movie with the band. That's a famous one there.
We're members of the band.
Yeah, Paul is in the hospital now. We're praying for him, and he's doing a little better. But just send your prayers. That's for those of you not familiar, coming in, that is our organist, and he's been a really important part of our community for a long time, and we're just sending lots of prayers his way. Hopefully he'll be back with us very soon. And last minute, the band joined us. Why don't we take a nice deep breath? Can we feel the spring air, should I say? Have we made it to spring? Every week we think, maybe this will be the week where we can plant some flowers.
No.
I would not recommend it, right, Cantor? No.
No.
Not at all. So we have a wonderful service, and again, we're so delighted to have everyone here. Some of you are here for yard site. Some of you are here just to be here. Some of you are here for bar mitzvahs. We have Amos Kleiman over here. And this handsome gentleman is having his bar mitzvah tomorrow. And he is going to be leading several of our prayers tonight, so we're so delighted to have him. We also have Everett Tucker here, who's officially becoming Jewish tonight, which is very exciting. We've been waiting to make that possible. So we have some very happy occasions tonight, which is wonderful. I think that we're beginning with Shalom Aleichem. Okay, so this is welcoming the angels of Shabbat.
2, 3, 4. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Ni'imelech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bolchem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Ni'imelech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barkuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Ni'imelech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Setechem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Ni'imelech, Malachei Amlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu.
I don't get an introduction this week, but I think you know who I am. They know me. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome. It's good to see so many people here tonight. I know we have a bar mitzvah coming up tomorrow. That's exciting. And we have people that are here for just to be here. And it's nice for us to be together. A quick update on this situation. As you know, the email that went out a couple of weeks ago said we were going to be masked for the next couple of weeks. I'm guessing that's going to continue for a couple of weeks more. Our executive committee will be meeting Tuesday night. We'll make a decision then, and email will go out on Wednesday. But as I've been saying for more than 2 years now, as I've been standing up here, we will always put your safety first and err on the side of caution. And if anyone has a thought about this and wants to have a conversation about it with me, I'm always happy to do so. We have, as the rabbi mentioned, a lovely service tonight with the band. We're great at flexibility here. You know, it's one night it's the rabbi and cantor not being here, and Yonina stepping in. This week, the band filling in at the last minute, and we are the beneficiaries of that.
You are never going to let us live that
course
down.
not. Are you kidding?
It's gonna be the joke for the year, the
Well,
insider joke for the
Shivering
year.
Shabbat is over. I've got to come up with something. Anyway, so we have a lovely service planned. I'll be back with the announcements. We have a lot of stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks. So enjoy the service and enjoy being together.
So we are ready to light our candles. It's on page 120. I'm going to invite Amos over here to the microphone, and I'm going to invite his family to light our candles. We light our candles symbolically to really make this our home. Candles are a central part of our home, and when we light them, it's almost as if we brought our home here. And I love it for our bar mitzvah. It really feels like this is Amos's place, which is wonderful. So he's going to recite these blessings, which symbolically begin Shabbat. Go for it.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tivanu lahadlikner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Blessed are you, God, King of the universe, who sanctifies us through your commandments and commands us to light our candles of Shabbat. It doesn't look like we gave you a Kiddush cup at all, so we're going to lift imaginary ones there. I think I put it away by accident. So Amos is going to lead us in the short blessing on page 123.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen.
Amen. L'chaim. L'chaim. Thank you to the Clayman family for joining us. And we'll bring up Amos a little bit later on as well. And that's his Savta from Rochester, I believe, right? We are now going to welcome in Shabbat. She's been lurking right out there. And she comes in when we're ready. She wants to make sure we're all seated first and ready. We welcome her in with L'cha Dodi on page 138. We're going to sing the first and the last verse. On the last verse, we rise and we kind of help her gently in the room. Believe me, it's hard to rest in this world, so we need to kind of coax that in. That is our way of saying it's okay, not just for Shabbat to come in, but for us, that we are allowed to rest, that it's okay. When Shabbat enters, we symbolically bow to her, and then what we do since COVID began, we wave. I call this our kingly and queenly wave. So we just look around, acknowledge one another's presence here. Again, page 138.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. La 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 chadodi. La 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 krakala. La 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 pnei Shabbat. Pnei Shabbat v'kamela. La 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 chadodi. Sing with us. La 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 krakala. La 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 pnei Shabbat. Pnei Shabbat v'kamela. Shamo v'zachor v'dibor echad. Ishmi'anu el hamiuchad. Adonai echad u'shmo echad.
How wonderful it is for us to be together. Let we remain standing, and we are going to do our call of community. We are so much stronger when we are together. And symbolically, we say to one another that we are there to support each other no matter what happens. That is what it means to do the Barchu on page 146. So as we bend our knee towards God, let us really appreciate one another as well. And we remain standing. Let us read together on page 147 at the top. There is one who sings the song of his own life, finding everything within himself. There is one who leaves the circle of herself and sings the song of her people. There is one whose voice rings with the song of humanity, hoping for the highest perfection. And there is one who rises even higher, uniting with all creatures, with all worlds, filling the universe with song. Nivarech, let us bless. We turn to page 150 for the Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limodta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu, B'shochveinu u'bekomeinu, Nasiach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'b'mitzvotecha, le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu, u'bahem negeh yomav v'layla. Ve'ahavatecha al tasim imenu le'olamim. Baruch
page 152.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch shekivur shekivur v'akoto le'olam va'ed. Baruch shekivur shekivur v'akoto le'olam va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
You may be seated. I'd like to invite Amos over to lead us in the Via Hafta, and that is on page 154.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shnantam levanecha v'nebeta bam b'shivtecha v'techa v'naftecha v'adremech v'shokpecha v'ushkmecha v'shartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha v'chravtam al mezuzot betecha v'visharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי ועשיתם בלבבכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתיכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Thank you, Amos. We're going to continue with the Micha Mocha on page 158. We still have one more week of the month of Nisan. And I know there are people in our Buffalo community and beyond that are very excited because when Nisan ends, that's the fast of Ramadan ends as well. So they will be very excited as that comes to a close. Page 158.
Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 mi kamocha pa'elim Adonai mi kamocha le'elam hakodesh norati
the most amazing things about human beings is our capacity to share love with one another. We actually can bring our emotions and give it to another person. We can take that love, and it's not limited. It's not an equal sum game, that we can share love with as many people as we like, and we can really increase their happiness, and they can share love with us. On page 161, Let There Be Love, why don't we think about where we would like to direct our love as individuals, as a community? Raise your hand if you'd like to share where should we send our love out into the world? Where do you think? Yeah. To Ukraine. That's what I was thinking too. But we can send it also out to any of the people in our circle that really need it, including ourselves. Again, page 161.
So once you learn this phrase, let there be love and understanding how to sing it, you can keep singing it while I go into the Hebrew. And we have a lot of people who have learned this, who can help you. You'll hear them amongst you and follow them if I throw you off with the Hebrew. 2, 3, 4. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkifenu Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkifenu Shalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm. Last time. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Well, it's so nice for me. I get to sit down among the congregation and really experience what you're doing. Actually, next week we're going to have our sisterhood, Women of Shir Shalom Shabbat, and I'll get to do that again. So that'll be very exciting. We are going to turn to our tefillah. This is the section where we really take time to be present with our own selves, with God, with the world. It begins on page 164 and continues to page 180. Feel free to read in the Hebrew, English, or just your own prayers of your heart. I encourage you to rise if you're able and just take a couple of minutes of silent reflection. We'll continue on page 180 with a prayer for peace, Oseh Shalom.
This Oseh Shalom, we did this during the pandemic, during when we were kind of stuck on Zoom for a while. It's a call and response Oseh Shalom. So I will sing a phrase, and you please sing it back to me. This is a rather meditative, spiritual Oseh Shalom. I hope you enjoy it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oseh Shalom, Oseh Shalom. 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 Shalom, Shalom. Shalom, Shalom. Shalom, Shalom. Thank you, everyone.
I think that was the first time that we didn't do that on Zoom. So it was very unusual on Zoom because you can't really all speak at the same time or it's a problem. So I know every time you said I thought maybe I should do the repetition. It was nice. Everyone could do it. And so many things in our community work better when we could be in person, right? We're going to turn our attention now to our healing prayers. And first, for Amos's family, his grandfather is in the hospital, Bert Kleiman. I'm getting closer, okay. And we're going to send a lot of prayers his way, and hopefully that he can make it out soon. We are also thinking about, as a community, Rachel Anderson, Sally Anderson, Judy Bardak, Stephen Bernstein, William Wade Boker, Ebony Burse, Esteban Cabarro, Vito Cavallari, Dolores Denzel, Patrick Fitzgerald, Sue Frank, Nancy Hersbrun, Tracy Kassman, Brian Kern, Gail Kleberg, Mark Nightinger, Manny Quichin, Mary Korchowski, Peter Mackler, Helene Mesh, Rebecca Mesnikoff, Mike Millman, Jill Shire Monahan, Janine Morris, Brandon Ryan, Shel Rossi, Barry Schoenfeld, David Chevet, Christopher Smith, Paul Staley, Margaret Stevenson, Athena Tucker Pasiak, Jean Taransky, Anita Wazell, Hannah Ezra Ben Shuel, Sarah Gittel Bat Chaya Vedina, and Ali Ben Moshe. If you have other names you'd like to say.
Roger Marchione, Linda Vegas.
We'll bring all those names into our heart, and we are going to be singing the Misha Barak on 371.
The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
A complete healing of body and soul. We hope that our prayers help ease the pain and give courage to all those in need. So Shabbat Shalom. It's nice to kind of be at the lower level. Also for, as I said, to enjoy the wonderful band. We'll give them, we don't clap here, but what we do is we give them Broadway hands. We haven't been able to do this enough here in our community. So that is wonderful. And it is really wonderful to have so many of you here. It's really been quite a time. Actually, I was meeting with a reporter this week from Spectrum News, and we were talking about the pandemic. And I said, in general, we've had less people coming in person as people kind of get used to it. And the reporter, wonderful reporter over there, she said, well, when do you think people will come back? I said, well, they'll take their time. I didn't know I could tell her it would be this Friday. I'll have to call her back and let her know. So this past week, we had a meeting about our 10th anniversary. It's hard to believe. July 1st, we are officially 10 years old. My son is turning 12 on Thursday next week, and I feel just as excited. We welcome a community. It's a little like a person, as we grow, we kind of learn how to walk a little bit, and then slowly but surely we learn kind of who we are in the world. And by the time you're the bar mitzvah age, you kind of know a little bit about who you are. And that's very similar to actually like a community. And it's really wonderful to kind of feel that we actually have an identity as Shir Shalom. People know us in the world as Shir Shalom, and we know one another as Shir Shalom. And when we say Shir Shalom, we know what that means. So when we got together, and we've been planning for quite a while for this date, and we have a lot of events, I think there was an email already that went out this week. We're collecting memories, so if you have specific memories about anything that you experience at Shir Shalom that you want to share, we'd love to hear from you. And we're kind of actually doing a lead up. Most of the Shabbats in June we're going to be preparing and getting ready. And then the first 2 weeks in July, we're going to have some special services and a little party. It's going to be very exciting. We're going to take a picture with a drone all the way up there with hopefully as many people as we can, and really celebrate who we are as a community. As we were talking on our Zoom conversation, I realized that it's very difficult to plan a 10 anniversary because there isn't a way to do it. It's not like you can look in a rabbi or cantor manual. We don't open up our manual and say, this is what you do at the 10th anniversary. You can't open up your prayer book here and know exactly what to do. We kind of have to feel it out. And it's a little actually like when we first began. When we got together, and it was a 2-year process of merging, full of a lot of energy and insight and conversation, some difficult, some easy, as we tried to navigate what it would be like to come together. And it really became a very important part of the experience, almost like the pregnancy, actually, before the birth. And we were waiting and figuring out, and one of the questions is, what do we do on July 1st of 2012? What are we going to do to mark that? How are we going to give it together? How are we going to say we are officially here? And there is actually one way that Jewish communities often do this. And so we suggested maybe we can carry the Torahs from the former Temple Sinai over to here to Beth Am, which was becoming Congregation Shir Shalom. This is often what you do. You bring the Torahs. The Torahs, which are over here, are our most prized possession. And just like we would have done in the wilderness when we transported the ark, we would symbolically bring that. And I remember the discussions leading up to this day, because I was kind of maybe I was the one who suggested it originally, and part of me was saying, this is the craziest idea, because we would have to walk all the way, through busy streets like Sheridan Drive. We'd have to navigate with Torahs. We'd have to figure out if there was any kind of bad weather. We would kind of be stuck. So I started, you know how it is, you start thinking about the worst. What is bad going to happen? I started imagining the rain. It was like just forming in my head. That is definitely going to happen. And we get to the day, and of course it's nice and bright. If anything, it was a little too hot that day. And we got together in the morning, and we read Torah for the last time at the Temple Sinai building. It was a very powerful experience. And then we started to walk. We had a chuppah, because that's also a tradition. You take your chuppah too. That's the marriage canopy, for those of you not familiar. So it meant we were holding a chuppah, holding the Torahs, and transporting the Torahs, 3 of them, over all the way to Shir Shalom. And we had a group that was made up of people all the way from their 90s to people like my children I was holding in my arms. That now 12-year-old, he was about 2 years old at the time. So we were making our way, and thank God, Todd Sugarman, he knew we needed the police there. And they transported us all the way through. They made sure that path was straight all the way over. I remember arriving and walking in, and just that feeling of relief. We actually did it. We made it. And also that feeling as a ritual, this is what we needed to do. When you find that right ritual, you know it. It feels right. It feels holy. It wasn't just that we were doing something that was out of the ordinary, extraordinary. This is what other Jewish communities do. This was how you make a transition in your lives. Ritual is very important, whether it's a bar mitzvah, a funeral, a baby naming, a conversion. All of those kind of things require some sort of ritual to give them relevance. This week's Torah portion is a rather strange one. It has all the descriptions of the Yom Kippur ritual, which is nothing like the Yom Kippur we celebrate. There's nothing about fasting, and all there is about sacrificing goats. It's nothing like what we do. There's no transit drive-in. over there. It's kind of a mysterious thing. It feels really holy, but I have no idea what they were doing. And we can't ask them. It's kind of like, oh, that would be really interesting to watch, but I have literally no idea what they're doing. But it begins with a line that always just takes my breath away. And the line is, after the death, that's the name of the portion, Acharemo, after the death of Aaron's sons, Nadav and Abihu. Why does this hit me so hard? It's because it comes out of nowhere. And it's very strange. Nadav and Abihu die in a portion Shmini, which at this point we read over a month ago. It was a really long time ago, especially this year, because we had multiple portions and Passover in between. So it was quite a long time. So why are we talking about the death? And the answer, of course, is because it is still on the communal mind. It's on Aaron's mind. It is hanging over everything they do. And I noticed for the very first time, sometimes you read the Torah and something new happens. You read it over and over again. You've seen it. I've been reading the Torah since I was a little boy. And I've been reading it all through my time as a rabbi. And I've read this portion over and over. This is our Yom Kippur portion. And it never struck me, these words, after the death. They had no idea what to do. We know what to do when someone dies. We have markers all around the room. We're going to be reading a mourner's Kaddish list. We have Yizkor. We have funerals, unveilings. We have so much in the ritual. For Aaron and our biblical ancestors, they had nothing. This was the first time they were doing things. They had no idea. We have very few mentions of what to do after death. Of course, when Aaron and Miriam and Moses die, we have rituals. What do we know? They have a 30-day period of mourning. We still have this. That's called shloshim. That is the only thing in my application for rabbinical school I got wrong. So I always remember that. They gave a list of Hebrew names, and shloshim, the 30 days of mourning that we have after the death, that's the only one that I didn't know. Because back then, believe it or not, I had barely ever gone to a funeral. So I actually didn't know much about the rituals. So when we think about it, we have all these rituals, but they really didn't have any. So we have that mourning. We know something about tearing of the clothing, and we know something about burial. Of course, Abraham burying Sarah in a cave. Very different than our rituals. They didn't have in the ground burials with memorial plaques and everything like that. They didn't have gravestones. They would bury in a plot in the cave, and that would be the family plot. And the next person would go in there, and then they would shift the bones around, and they would just keep doing that. And that would be how they would preserve the body, preserve the ritual of it. And that cave would be the place of mourning, that you needed a place. But other than that, Aaron really didn't have a way, especially for such a tragic event. If you remember about Nadav and Abihu, it was sudden, momentary, young people. These were future leaders of our people, gone in an instant. How on earth do we process such things? And what we learn as they're kind of creating a ritual is we need something. We can't wait 4 weeks, a month to figure it out. That we can't not say anything. It requires us to be together, like we are today. It requires us to name our loss. That line, that very powerful line, is part of the mourning process. Just saying that we have had a loss and we need to mourn is an important thing. And saying the names, I also think that that's important. It says Aaron's sons, Nadav and Abihu. That is what we continue today. When we say the names, when we light those names, we are saying to ourselves, to those people, we remember you. This week is Yom HaShoah. We just had that over the last day. And we're going to have our communal celebration, memorial, which Cantor and myself are a part of, in addition to others. It'll be online, so you can watch it on, I think, 11 o'clock on Sunday. But we know one of the tragic things when you look at Ukraine, when you look at situations where masses amount of people die, is their names aren't there. We need to mark it. All over our memorial list are people that were part of the Holocaust that we have no idea where they were when they died, but we want to remember their names. If you go to Yad Vashem, one of the most powerful things is to go into the room of names. They have these folders, binders, like this big, and the room goes up and down. And they have collected every single name that they can. And they put it in there. As soon as they find names, they put it in those books. And you just look. This is at the end of the exhibit that they have. You just look, and it's just to think pages, pages, and pages and pages of names. They're not just there for the page. They are there for the memory. As human beings, we have to memorialize. We have to remember. And one of the things that we've learned since Aaron is the Jewish community and the rabbis and all the leaders that have come before have created ritual, not one ritual, tons and tons of rituals. Some of them that will be relevant to you, some of them not. These are good ideas that came in the moment before, putting stones on the grave, one of our most powerful rituals. That's something that's unique. Burying, taking the shovel, actually doing the burial. Those kind of things were at one time new, created, but they became powerful and they stayed with us. The Mourner's Kaddish is a good example. That actually does not go back to Aaron's time. It goes back 1,000 years. It started with just little kids coming in and kind of doing it in honor of their teachers who died, and eventually was like, everyone should do this. This is an incredibly powerful ritual, and we are going to do it, and we're going to honor people that way. So tonight, let us not discount the power of ritual in our lives. Let us celebrate it. I'm lucky enough, Cantor and I, and our synagogue community, this room, this space, this Shir Shalom is filled with rituals. Each of those rituals is powerful, meaningful, and it is an honor. I cannot express to you how much of an honor it is to be able to be present and to be part of these rituals and to help lead them, because I know how important and sacred they are. Hopefully, Amos, you will remember this weekend, not what I'm speaking about. You will remember your presence in this weekend for your life, and you'll be able to communicate that. And we hold that sacred all the way through, because those are the moments that we remember. There's so much we can forget. So much of our daily life and our week we should just get rid of. There's so many aggravations, but those moments that are special we'll hold on for the rest of our lives. So with that in mind, I am ready to call up Everett here. We have been waiting for at least 2 months. Let's see, what is the date here? The 18th of Tevet. How long ago? That was a long time ago, wasn't it? This is what COVID does to you. So come over here, Everett. We're going to have you sign your certificate. Is it okay? Can I have you read the affirmation that you have here?
Yeah.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah. Oh, you can either way.
Okay. I make this affirmation as I enter the eternal covenant between God and the Jewish people. I choose to become a Jew of my own free will, motivated by neither fear nor financial gain. I accept Judaism to the exclusion of all other religions, faiths, and practices, and now pledge my loyalty to Judaism and the Jewish people. I promise to establish a Jewish home and participate actively in the life of the synagogue and the Jewish community. I commit myself to pursue Torah and faithfully consider my Jewish practice. If I am blessed with children, I will raise them as Jews in every respect.
All right, do you agree to that?
Yeah.
Oh, Mazel tov.
Sorry to put you on the spot, yeah.
Oh, yeah, whatever. Here, can I just...
Oh, yeah, sorry, you can use, you want to do it on the prayer book like that?
Sure.
See, we're creating ritual. Mazel tov! Okay, we have...
Simon tov, Mazel tov, Mazel tov, Simon tov, Mazel tov, Simon tov, Mazel tov, Simon tov, Yehilanu, 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 Umecha Yisrael, Yehilanu, Yehilanu, Umecha Yisrael, Yehilanu, Yehilanu, Umecha Yisrael, Yehilanu, Yehilanu, Umecha Yisrael.
Well, Mazel tov, Everett, and also Mazel tov on your upcoming graduation coming, right? Yeah, this year, just a couple of months from high school. And where are you headed to? SUNY, what is it? ESF, where is that? Syracuse, okay. SUNY ESF, so Mazel tov. We'll invite you back here. Oh, thank you. See, I told you this is a very exciting evening. Okay, we are ready now to move towards the end of our service. And, oh, I have last week's one. That is Dayenu. We're not doing Dayenu this week, okay. Sorry to say, no, that's the wrong one. One of these. Oh, here it is, okay. All right, we are ready for Aleinu, page 586. I invite you to rise as we face our ark. It's not enough for us just to, not just to pray. We need to go out and do good work in this world.
Aleinu nishabeach laton hakol, laten gdula liyotzeh bereshit, shelo asanu kigoyei haratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam hem kinu kahem, v'gov alinu kechol hamonam.
Page 591. Oh,
קוראים ובשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא
591.
ונאמר אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
You may be seated. We turn now to our Mourner's Kaddish on page 598. We had a number of losses this past week. First, Ruth Palanker. Many of you knew they owned a furrier business. A wonderful, wonderful human being, and our thoughts and prayers are with her family. Sally Louise Anderson, it's the aunt of Tina Ferber. And we also have here the family of Morton Korn, who will be buried on Sunday in the AM, Sunday at 11 o'clock, over at Amherst Memorial. Morton, if you had a chance to look at the Buffalo News today, was a wonderful, dynamic person. And if you needed a shirt, he would get it for you. But he was a really cool guy, and he was working his family told me, up until a week or two right before he died, and he was 98 years old. So he worked quite a while and always, had that wonderful energy. I do encourage you to read the the write-up in the paper today. We also are remembering Rachel M. Battisti and Doris Epstein, Stephen Janis, and Gerda Weissman Klein, all who died in the last month. On our yard-site list from years past, the anniversary coming up this coming week, we remember Mitchell Benson, Sylvia Berger, Bernard Brown, Walter S. Collin, Mona Feder, Zelda Feldman, Jack Felstein, Mary Friedman, Victoria Gambitsky, Gary Gafter, Estelle Gerstel, Geraldine S. Gross, Rose Gordon Hirschhorn, Donald Horowitz, Lillian Hurwitz, Charles Kaufman, Keith H. Kaufman, Ruth Kleiman, Ida Lieberman, Bessie Lesses, Albert Mandelkern, Rose Meyer, Annette Ostroff, Sylvia Perlitz, Henry S. Pessar, Samuel Rubin, Julian R. Sapphire, Julia Shephart, Martha Schneider, Jacob Simon, Samuel Slepian, Ethel K. Solander, Maury Sugar, and Harry Weiss. If you have other names, just raise your hand.
Peter Dia.
All those whose custom it is to rise, the mourner's Kaddish is on page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, bi'alma divrach irate v'yamlik malchute, b'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayedachol beit Yisrael, b'agala v'izman kariv yimru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam olmeo maya. Yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudasha b'rechu le'elam min kol berchata v'shirata tush v'chata v'nechamata damiran v'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlam rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom v'yimru amav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'yimru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to all the world. And we say, Amen.
Amen.
You may be seated. Zikranam livracha. I'd like to invite up officially Bruce Chorus to offer our announcements.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. This is one of the rituals you left off when you were talking about the rituals. Really, 10 years. It's going to be 10 years, July 1st. Amazing. I still remember the walk down Sheridan Drive with the police escort. And one thing you didn't mention is how good it felt to walk into the air conditioning when we got here. 10 years. They flew by. Anyway, Mazel Tov to Amos Kleiman and Shara and Randy and the family on the bar mitzvah tomorrow. Amos, when you started your bar mitzvah training, your voice was a few octaves higher than it is tonight. Anyway, Mazel Tov to all of you, and I know you're going to do great tomorrow. Mazel Tov also to Everett Tucker on his conversion to Judaism. As we say, welcome to the tribe. By the way, that affirmation thing, did that say anything about volunteering for Shavetas? We'll have to add that next time. Thank you to Sheila Bernard Tucker for helping out tonight as our service greeter. Thank you, of course, to Rabbi Alex Cantor-Frank and the band. How nice was it to have the band together? Very, very nice. We have the best temple band in America in this building. And we had a little Ravi Shankar action going with you tonight. That was very, very cool. It's great to have the band back. Even though it's not the full band, it's just still nice to have you guys. And it was wonderful. Really, really nice. Tomorrow morning, we have virtual offerings, Torah study at 9, Shabbat morning service at 11. Those are both going to be via Zoom. The website will have the links. And then Amos's bar mitzvah is at 5:30, and that is via Boxcast, Facebook, and YouTube. The Community Religious School and Genenu Preschool program will be in session Sunday, but they will be off-site at the JCC Benderson building. I believe that's because of Yom HaShoah, if I'm not mistaken.
I think actually it's very confusing. They're doing Yom HaAtzmaut.
Oh, okay.
Israel Independence Day.
Got it. Okay. But the men's group will be here in the building Sunday morning at 9:30. Our board member Andy Abramowitz and another special FBI agent will be here talking about a local case, a case in Hamburg. So that should be fascinating. This is a joint event with Temple Beth Tzedek's men's group. You don't have to be a member of the men's group. You don't have to be a man to attend. Everyone is welcome. And it will also be on Zoom in case you don't want to attend in person. And no, we are not bringing back the bagels and lox yet, but that day is coming. As Rabbi Alex mentioned, next Friday night we have a very special service. It is our Women of Shir Shalom Shabbat. This year the service is written by Jill Hamilton, and the Women of Shir Shalom are going to lead the service as they always do. If you are still interested in participating in the service, whether that's in English or Hebrew, please reach out to Jill as soon as possible. It's one of our most special services of the year. Not just because the rabbi isn't part of it. It's just it's a lot of special prayers written for the occasion. And this year there's a special theme, which is the 100th anniversary of the first bat mitzvah. Hard to believe. So anyway, that service is next Friday night, and it is always really very nice. Our gift shop will be open many Fridays before services. That's between 6:30 and 7. We have a sale going on right now, 25% off some items, 50% off others, and then other items, just make an offer. We'll take it. Speaking of Shavuos, we had our first Shavuos of the season on Tuesday.
How'd we do, Bruce?
We did great. We sold out. And I want to thank everyone that volunteered, especially the poor guy that was out in the parking lot for 3 hours in the bitter cold, directing the traffic. 45 degrees never felt that cold. I got to tell you, it was bitter. Anyway, it was nasty. But thank you to, 2 days before it was 75. Go figure. Anyway, thank you to everyone that supported it. It is a very important fundraiser for us, first of many this summer. The next one is coming up on May 10th. Stay tuned for more details. On further ones, you can always, when the event hits, you can always get your chickens, buy your dinners in advance on the website, save $1 that way, and be guaranteed of getting one before it sells out. So that's Tuesday, May 10th from 4 to 7. Thank you to Todd Sugarman and TLS Landscaping for clearing all of the trees and debris that fell near our outdoor worship center. We're going to be out there before you know it. Probably in June. In June, we're going to be out there under the tent, which is another wonderful, not a ritual, but a tradition here that makes us so special to be able to be outdoors like that in the summer. Just a wonderful get-together on Friday nights, and that's coming very, very soon. As we mentioned, we are going to always evaluate events and protocols and check them out. One event coming up that's not on the list here. June 18th, Joanne, the driving class. Saturday, June 18th, bringing back the defensive driving class. For those of you that would like to save about $100 a year on your car insurance, it's good for 3 years. And the proceeds from the class go to the temple. Unfortunately, you have to put up with me teaching it, but it goes by pretty fast. And I don't know if some of you may not know this, but the proceeds from last year's class helped us to refurbish the grand piano that we now use on Friday nights. So it's always a benefit for the temple, and of course it's a benefit for those who take the class, because you're going to save money on your car insurance.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you.
I enjoy doing it. How many in this room have actually taken the class from me? I see quite a few. Look at that. Yeah. Come back anytime. So that's going to be Saturday, June 18th. So I mentioned earlier the mask thing. We're going to the executive committee is going to meet this Tuesday night, and I'm guessing we're probably going to extend the masks for another couple weeks at that point. But look for an email on Wednesday to be sure. But we always are going to put your safety first, no matter what we do. If you need anything, please feel free to reach out to the rabbi, the cantor, Todd, Joanne, or myself. We are here for you. Please enjoy an Onig to go, which is sponsored by Shira and Randy in honor of Amos's bar mitzvah. Shira, did you bake the cookies this time, or no? The moms never bake the cookies. They never bake. But by the way, they're great cookies. They are great cookies, And so please pick one up on your way out and enjoy that. Shabbat Shalom.
How does he know?
Stay safe. And it's good to have everyone together like this.
Hey, Bruce, how did you know the cookies were so good already? Since it's supposed to be for after the service.
This is a good question, man. How wonderful it has been to have our the band here. It's kind of, we're getting back to our rituals from the past. All right, we are ready for Adon Olam, and it has a little bit of a twist that has to do with what Bruce mentioned before,
Really?
which is, I saw the sign floating down the road, and the wind, the Shavetta sign. It was going like a ghost. So page 625, and when you hear the song, you'll know what it's about.
So I personally have to thank these guys for stepping up tonight. We hadn't met during the pandemic. I don't know. When was the last time we met?
December.
What? December. And it just so happened that we had our first rehearsal last night, and then I got a text that Paul couldn't make it, and we started going over songs that we really knew well. And I said, well, how do you feel about just kind of like, we'll do it as a jam, just come tomorrow night. I don't want to be here on my own with the ukulele. And they all nodded, and it was just supposed to be a nondescript type of rehearsal to just reintroduce ourselves, and before you knew it, you guys are here, and these guys are here, and it just really feels wonderful. It feels like the old days. So, and speaking about the old days, we used to do, every year we used to do Shabbat Shalom, Mr. Dillon, and that was a ritual for us. And we were thinking about a closing song. We were thinking about one of our favorites, and it just happened to be from that service. And it's Adon Olam to Blowin' in the Wind. Right? 1, 4, 2, 3, 4. I hope you guys will sing. Adon Olam, Hashem Olam, B'terem kol yitzir nivra, li'ed nasa b'chefzo kol, Hasai melech shemo nivra. Adon Olam, Hashem Olam, B'terem kol yitzir nivra. Ve'acharei tiplot hakol, levado im lo nora. Ve'hu haya, ve'hu over, ve'hu yeh v'tifara. Adon Olam, Adon Olam. Let me hear ya. Hashem Olam, B'terem kol yitzir nivra. Ve'hu echad, ve'en sheni, ve'chashilo, ve'habira. Beli reshit, beli tachlit, velo ha'oz ve'hamisra. Adon Olam, Hashem Olam, B'terem kol yitzir nivra. Ve'hu eli lechael adi, ve'tzochev li li'tzara. Ve'hu nisi u'manos li, יוציא ביום אקרא. אדון עולם, השם עליו, בטרם כל יציר נברא. בידו אף קיבולי, להתישן והעירה. לאמרו כי גביעתי, אדוני לי ולא יירא. אדון עולם, אדון עולם, אשר עליו, בטרם כל יציר נברא. One last time, here we go everyone. אדון עולם, אשר עליו, בטרם כל יציר נברא.
And Cantor doesn't take enough credit. She made the arrangements of that and made sure that you have to take the song and transpose it into the Adon Olam, which takes a lot of patience and love. Okay, we are ready to bring up the Kleiman family again, and Amos is going to do Hamotzi. Let's see, Amos, if you want, it's on page 606, and we'll have you guys take off the challah cover there. There's no matzah here this week, Harvey. Last week we had our matzah and challah together. Okay, so lift it up and let's hear the blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzei lehem min haaretz. Amen.
That is now your challah. So wonderful, that's your challah. As you came in peace, may you leave in peace. Please take your prayer books, take out the leaflet, and bring them back to the front. Shabbat Shalom.
2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. putting your brace on.
Oh, I can't, I'm not allowed.
No, he's not picking up anything. I keep telling him to walk away. He doesn't listen. And it goes in there. You gotta come from this side.
I looked painfully at the picture Friday. It goes from about here to there. So you want to take that one.
Is it a good one?
It has a good feel. I played it.
No, I mean because
No, no.
that one wasn't like expensive. It was like the crap. That was the best.
So it's going to go on the corner.
Oh, okay, all right. I'll try it out. Well, this is an extra long neck. I wouldn't take my mark. Yeah. Actually, you know, for like a half hour.
Yeah, can you move the arc over?
Yeah. This one's high. Here, I'll get, I'm not leaving till all.
Oh, they didn't take the power. Maybe you can put it like by the fire pit somewhere.
Plenty of time. Just, it's not like